Good morning, afternoon, and evening, guys. We're back with another random tier list, and today we have a very special one coming up. As always, today we're talking about Tom Brady, who, as of this morning, news broke that he is retiring. He will be hanging it up after 22 seasons, quite possibly the greatest football player to ever live, to ever play, will be retiring. Now, that was the story this morning, and then this afternoon it came out from both his father and his agent that Tom Brady had not made a decision yet, and that the media jumped the gun on that report. So we'll see what happens. I could definitely see Brady to be one to play an extra season out of spite, because the man seems to be immortal for all, intents and purposes there. Absolute legend of the football game, and whether or not he ends up retiring this year, he's definitely going to be, a bona fide first ballot Hall of Famer. So taking a look, we are going to be talking about today his Super Bowl victories, whether or not this was his last year, meaning that 2021 last year was his final Super Bowl appearance, or not. We're going to go ahead and look at his 10 record-setting 10 Super Bowl appearances, talk about his performances in each of the games, and what kind of ranking we will give them. Did he win his team the game? Did he lose his team the game? Did he not really contribute to the win or loss at all? That's what we're going to be talking about here. And we're going to start off in chronological order, starting with Super Bowl 36 from 2001. If you guys appreciate tier lists like this, leave a like on this video. I really appreciate that. Subscribe if you'd like to see more tier lists. There's one that comes out every single day. And leave a comment down below if you find that I say something idiotic or very intelligent. I would love to hear. And without further ado, guys, let's get into it. Super Bowl 36. I'm putting Tom Brady's performance in the B tier. Now, Tom Brady did win the Super Bowl MVP this year as, I believe, a rookie, right? A very young quarterback. He had a 59% completion ratio, which was actually his second worst ever in the Super Bowl. He only threw for 145 yards. He threw for one touchdown, an 86.2 passer rating. But he didn't throw an interception. He did rush once for 3 yards. Didn't fumble or anything like that. So he managed the game well. The Patriots defeated the St. Louis Rams 20-17. He didn't lose the game for them. He managed it. I won't say... It's weird looking back after 20 years now and seeing that he did get the Super Bowl MVP for that. But in a 20-17 game, it wasn't really a fireworks show by any means. So, he led his team to victory, but not the sort of performance that we would come to expect from Tom Brady and, other quarterbacks as the years went on. Speaking of years moving on, 2 years later, Tom Brady entered his second ever Super Bowl, where he again won an MVP in a victory against the Carolina Panthers. This game was 32-29, a more high-scoring game than before, and Tom Brady performed a lot better. He threw for 354 yards, 7.4 yards per attempt, so he actually had 48 attempts, which is, up there with his other games for, it wasn't the most, but it was up there. 32 completions. He had a 100.5 passer rating and also rushed for 12 yards on 2 attempts, which is fine. He threw for 3 touchdowns and 1 interception, if I didn't say that. And he, like I said, did get the MVP. I'm going to give him an A tier ranking for this game. This 2003 victory against the Panthers, I think, was a great performance. I don't think it was his best performance or even one of his best, so I'm not going to put it in S tier. But I do think that it was a great performance by him. And I think that this much more showed the quality of quarterback that Tom Brady was, if that was even in doubt by the time 2003 rolled around. Now, the very next year, 2004, Super Bowl 39, if I'm reading Roman numerals correctly, New England, again, entering the Super Bowl, playing this time the Philadelphia Eagles, which would be a game that would be repeated about 13 years later. We'll get to that. In this game, though, the Patriots defeated the Eagles 24-21. Tom Brady had a 110.2 passer rating, which is his best rating so far. He threw for 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. However, he only threw for 263 yards. That said, he only made 23 completions compared to the prior year where he had 32. So his completion percentage was actually a lot better. I believe this was his third best completion percentage of his career in the Super Bowl at 69.7%. Rushing stats aren't really anything to mention in this or honestly any of the next couple games until you get to the last two or so. Tom Brady, not really a rusher, so I'm probably not going to point out that stat anymore. But with all that said, I mean, he didn't win the MVP. They did win the game. And his performance, 110 quarterback rating, this is, again, a game manager game. And I think he did a much better job. Despite the fact that he did not win the MVP, I actually think he did a better job in this Super Bowl than in Super Bowl 36. In Super Bowl 39, I think he actually had an A performance. I will put it underneath Super Bowl 38, despite the fact that he had a better quarterback rating. He did not have the sort of fireworks show, the 354 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, to lead his team to a very tight victory. Still won the game, though, and you can't knock that. So, going to put him in an A rating for that performance. A couple years later, Tom Brady encountered his first Super Bowl loss in Super Bowl 42 against the New York Giants, 2007. The Patriots were defeated 17-14 in not a great game. We had Tom Brady having 266 passing yards, only an 82.5 quarterback rating, which is, it's up there for one of his worst quarterback ratings thus far. He obviously lost the game, so he did not win the MVP or anything of the kind. He did throw a touchdown and no interceptions, but not going to be a great performance. I won't tell you that Tom Brady lost his team the game there, but he definitely did not win his team the game, seeing as they obviously lost. So I will put that performance in C tier. I don't think it is actually like a below average performance or anything. That would be throwing multiple touchdowns and losing his team the game, which just didn't happen. So for his performance there, I will go ahead and put that one in C tier. 4 years later, Tom Brady had a chance at redemption, again against the New England Patriots, Eli Manning leading them again, and this time they lost again. The Giants defeating the Patriots 21-17 in Super Bowl 44. This time Brady having 10 more passing yards. He had 276, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 91.1 passer rating. He actually had 41 attempts, which is the most he's had. Well, I guess he had 48 the year before. Ooh, his passer rating was bad in 2007. All right, 2011, he had a 65.9% passer rating. All that said, I think I'd put in a C tier performance. It's hard to put it higher when he did lose the game. Though that said, you can't put that all on him. I don't think he lost his team the game. Had he lost it for his team, I would have probably put this game down into D tier. But there was definitely other things at play there why they lost that game. He did throw 1 interception, but he also threw 2 touchdowns. He had a 91.1 passer rating, which is nothing to laugh at. He had a good performance despite the fact that they lost. So at this point in time, in 2011, Brady has gone from a 3-0 Super Bowl record to a 3-2 Super Bowl record. A couple years later, the Patriots returned to the Super Bowl against the Seattle Seahawks, and they grabbed a victory out of the jaws of defeat at the very last second, winning the game 28-24 in an absolute thriller, one of the best Super Bowl games ever, at least in my opinion. Brady had a 74% completion rating, or completion percentage, which was his best of his career in the Super Bowl, 328 yards. He threw 4 touchdowns, which is the most he ever threw in a Super Bowl game. And he did throw 2 interceptions, which also is the most that he ever threw in a Super Bowl game. So Brady did get the MVP for this performance. He attempted 50 passes, which is a lot, though we'll touch on a lot of passes in a sec. And I know I wasn't going to mention rushing anymore, but he actually rushed once for 15 yards here, which is a first down. So his performance in Super Bowl... Oh, excuse me, I apologize. The 15-yard rush was in the next year. We'll get there. Against Seattle, though, he definitely had a very hit-and-miss game. I mean, definitely a great game, don't get me wrong. But the 2 interceptions definitely make it feel a little weird. He actually had a lower passer rating is what I'm trying to say, than his Super Bowl 38 game. This being Super Bowl... Oh, these numbers are getting hard to go by. Super Bowl 49 here. This one's tough to rank. I can't argue with 74% completion rating and 4 touchdowns. 101% passer rating. We got to put it in A tier, don't we? We probably do have to put it in A tier. And that said, it's definitely better than Super Bowl 36, right? Or I'm sorry, 39. So I don't think the performance is quite as good as his Super Bowl 38. Yeah, he had more passing touchdowns than that. And honestly, like the Patriots would have lost this game if it wasn't for that interception right at the last second, which is why Brady, I believe, bought the player who caught that ball a truck and everything, and credited him with the victory. So I'm going to put this in A tier. I'm not going to put it up in S tier, but obviously a great performance from Brady. He didn't come anywhere close to losing his team the game or anything like that. Had they even lost, I still would have put this performance in A tier. It was a really good game, and he deserved the MVP for his play. 2 years later, Super Bowl 51, the New England Patriots again going to the Super Bowl against the Atlanta Falcons this time. This was that famous game where the Falcons were up at halftime 27-3, 28-3, whatever it was. And Brady came back and he defeated them 34-28 in overtime. 466 yards passing, only 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. 95% passer rating. Ton of yards, and almost a 70% rating. He attempted 62 passes because they were behind for so much, and had 43 completions. Both of those were his records in Super Bowl games. This game is weird. Like, 466 yards, Jesus. But only 95% passer rating, which is still excellent, but it is lower than some of his other ones. I have to put this performance in S tier. And I don't know that the stats back this one up, so I apologize for any statisticians. I don't know if I said that right in the comment section, but okay. To bring your team back, he was down 28-3. It literally had never been done before to come back from the type of deficit that he was at. He threw for 466 yards, 43 completions. I get that he, did not throw for 8 touchdowns, and he did throw an interception. But just the clutchness and the drive to not give up and to, as the quarterback, lead his team to victory here, I don't think it's fair to give him anything less than S tier. He did win his 4th Super Bowl MVP award for this performance, and he deserved it. He deserved it, right? I don't think it was his best game. I'll get to what may have been his best game in a minute. But I think it was a great game. The stats there are pretty good, but I think there's also some intangibles at play there. Why that's S tier. Next up, he had a second match in the Super Bowl against the Philadelphia Eagles. This was 2017's Super Bowl 52, one of the trio of Super Bowls he went to in a row. And in this one, he lost 41-33 against backup quarterback Nick Foles of the Philadelphia Eagles. Brady set his Super Bowl record with 505 passing yards and a 10.5 yards per attempt. 48 attempts, down from his 62 the year before, but only a 58% completion percentage, which is his worst in any Super Bowl game. So he threw a ton, and he did throw 3 touchdowns. He didn't throw an interception. And he had a 115.4 passer rating, which is his second best. So this game, again, odd in that he threw the crap out of the ball. But I think this is 52. He threw the crap out of the ball, but lost the game. And his passer rating shows you that he did not lose this game before his team or anything of the sort. The passer rating, 505 yards, 115 passer rating. Even with the passing percentage, the throws that he missed evidently were not a big deal. Because he still was able to get the yardage there. He still had the yards per attempt. So he had these big plays, these big throws. That's what that's telling me. 115 rating, 3 touchdowns. I got to put this performance in S tier. Even though he lost the game. Am I stupid? Is that crazy? I don't know. Somebody tell me. That might be stupid. Even though he lost this game, I'm still going to put it in S tier because he threw for 500 yards. But he lost. Okay, we'll put it in A tier. We'll put it at the top of A tier. He had a great performance. His team lost. You can't win a game by yourself. I don't think Brady lost this game for his team or anything of the sort, but had he maybe been a little more, I don't know, how do you criticize 505 yards at 115 rating? I don't know. A tier. Moving on. 2018, Super Bowl 53. The New England Patriots played the Los Angeles Rams. So playing the Rams again, this time in a different city. They won 13-3. This game sucked. Brady had a 71% passer rating. He only threw for 262 yards. He did have no touchdowns in this game. The only Super Bowl game he ever had no touchdowns in. He threw for 1 interception. He rushed for -2 yards. I told you I wouldn't mention that again, but I feel like it kind of fits with this storyline here. I don't remember exactly what happened in this game, but I got to put it in a D-tier performance, despite the fact that he won the game. Yeah, no touchdowns, 1 interception. You know, his team did score. The final was 13-3, so what? They scored 1 touchdown, right, with 2 field goals, and the Rams only managed a field goal. This was a defensive game, which some people love, but we're ranking Brady's performances, and he's on offense, so I got to put that in D tier. I would say that this is probably Brady's worst Super Bowl performance ever. Coming up in 2020, Brady now with a new team. We may be at what is his best performance ever. At least it was his highest quarterback rating, 125.8 in a 31-9 victory for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Brady had a stellar defense this year. And that's what a lot of people were saying when he joined the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, was that the Bucs defense was, I don't want to say carry Brady, because nobody carries Brady, but it was better. The core that he had around him at the Bucs was better than what the Patriots had to offer. And boy, did he prove it in going to the Super Bowl his first year and winning the damn thing. 125.8 quarterback rating, like I said. Only 201 yards passing. On only 21 completions. The same amount of completions as the prior year, but almost double the quarterback rating because he threw 3 touchdowns instead of none, right? And then he also won the MVP. So I'm going to go ahead and put his performance in this game up into the S tier. I think there was definitely an element of game managing in this victory, but he did throw the 3 touchdowns. That quarterback rating is fantastic. He also had his most rush attempts of any quarterback, or of any Super Bowl game that he played in at 4, which combined for -2 yards, which is a really funny stat. But obviously, winning 31-9, this game was never really in jeopardy for the Buccaneers. He managed the hell out of the game. He did not allow the Chiefs to really get back into it. He and the defense. I mean, you have to really give credit to the Bucs defense for that victory too. So I am going to put it in S tier, but I am going to put it below his Super Bowl 51 performance. So that's it, guys. Brady has only been in 10 Super Bowls only. So that's all we have to rank here. What do you guys think about my rankings? Was this complete garbage and mumbo jumbo, or did I get some things right? Let me know. Let me know what your opinion is down below. And what do you think? Will we see Brady in another Super Bowl? Will he come back and play another season out of spite, despite the fact that he's already almost 50 years old? We'll see. We'll find out. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. With all that said, guys, this has been the guy who makes random tier lists, and I'm signing out.